If you look at the rushing offensive yards, passing offensive yards, and the points scored per game, Kentucky is beating them out in almost every single category. They only had 50 yards on the ground in the first half, and it's very hard to come back like that. And we heard Coach Haddix throughout the entire week that the way to win these ball games is to run the ball effectively, take care of the ball, and then you can execute. We're going to stick with basketball, and we may as well stick with schools that are in the Mountain Classic as we continue on with our round ball previews. Now we got high school level. Game of the Week crew was out at Clay County all day to get the Bobby Keith Classic, and that's where we're going to start. It was do or die for the Kentucky Wildcats baseball team on Saturday. If they win, they force a Sunday matchup in a Game 3 must-win situation. If they lose, Louisville is heading to the College World Series. They won their first 13th region All-A title a few weeks ago, and then in their very first appearance in the All-A state tournament, they win. Well, the one and dones are still alive and well at the University of Kentucky. Freshman De'Aaron Fox declared for the draft Monday afternoon. They drew Big Ten Northwestern 7-game winning streak for the Purple Wildcats. So what have you seen out of Northwestern? The sport of football is more than just a game to some people.
I've always dreamed of being, a football mom, a cheerleader mom, or, a sports mom. I wanted to wear the shirt, and I wanted to stay, be in the stands and do the sign and everything.
When you have a son like Hunter Hubbard, that's very hard.
Well, Hank.
Look.
Hunter has autism, but that didn't stop him from being on a team.
Someone came to me and said, Coach, this young man loves football. He always wanted to be a Cardinal. Would you have a problem with him running out on the field on a Friday night with you? And I said, we can do one better than that. Let's bring him into the locker room. Let's let him be part of the pregame speech. Let's let him see how the boys get ready before a game. Let's take him out on the field. Let's bring him back in at halftime. Let him spend the whole night with us. So he was on the sideline as long as he wanted to be there that night. We wanted to bring him in and make him feel a part of the family.
I mean, my heart was pounding, and when we took off, it was like, he's part of this team.
When he was little, he wouldn't do loud noises, and when he was little, he wouldn't, do the big crowds. So now, he loves that, and he loves being with the football team.
And this also made just as big of an impact on the players.
It was awesome for someone to come in here and think it's so cool to see us like that when we just do it every day and we're used to it. It's just cool for someone from outside to really appreciate it.
Who knows? You may hear this.
Next up, number 84, Hunter Hubbard.
Yes, Hunter Hubbard.
Because someone this joyful has to be recognized for the impact they've made on others.
He just, he's just been a blessing. He's taught me more than I could ever teach him.
In London, Karli Bell.
1, 2, 3,
WYMT Mountain Sports.
Jordan Blanton bangs one to second. That'll score Jordan Blanton to make it 2-0. Why not try Jordan Blanton over the defender?
In all honesty, I think that Jordan Blanton's the most athletic kid that ever come through Johnson Central.
His athletic resume can provide you proof. He was named the Class 4A Player of the Year. He was a Mr. Football finalist. He was named to the All-State First Team twice. And to wrap it all up, he brought home the first state football title in school history. But the athlete that we know on the gridiron almost didn't get to that championship.
His sophomore year was actually his toughest year for us. That was whenever he said, I'm just not going to play football. I'm just not going to play football. We both told him, that's fine. You just address your coach and your teammates. Let them know that you're not going to play. And he couldn't do it.
He catches balls on the football field that no one else I've ever seen catch. He caught the ball to win the state regional game against Scott.
Throws it into the end zone. There's Blanton. Touchdown!
He's very quick. He's fast, and he has good jumping ability. And those are the things, that as a coach that you look for, that every athlete doesn't have. I think in Jordan's case, he was probably born with a lot of it, and he's developed a lot of it.
I guarantee in football, if there's a fumble, he's probably on it. If there's a tip ball and he's a defensive back, chances are he either tipped it or he's getting ready to make the pick.
Every athlete's not born with the ability to run and jump like he is. And he's worked hard. He works hard in all three sports.
Those other two sports being wrestling and baseball. In wrestling, the accolades started in his sophomore year, where he won state in the 145-pound weight class. He's a 4-time regional champion in wrestling, and he ended his senior season with a state title.
Every time he gets to that wall, and I think he's hit the wall, you know, he just pushes himself through it. I mean, he does. I mean, the mental toughness that he has, and I contribute that to wrestling.
So the state champ at 145 is Jordan Blanton.
He always wanted to compete. He wanted to win. And again, you know, he had some natural ability. And there you go. You combine those. You combine that desire to win with natural ability. And then you feel like you've got a good prospect.
But baseball is his true love.
Baseball's my love. I love baseball. It's just the greatest game ever. I just love baseball, everything about it, you know, from hitting to fielding to throwing the ball to the 90-degree sun beating down on you to getting dirty. I love getting dirty. I love diving. I just love baseball.
Now Jordan is heading to play baseball at the collegiate level in neighboring West Virginia at Marshall University.
A new level now, you know, whole different experience, whole different ball game. Once you go up to college, you know, it's the best, you know, it'll be Division I, it'll be tough, you gotta compete, which I'm really looking forward to.
Whatever college coach gets a hold of him, they're not gonna have a diamond in the rough. They're gonna have a diamond on the ring.
It's just beginning, really, for him. I know all that he has accomplished has been fantastic, but really, honestly, it's just beginning.
It's time, baby, it's time!
What's a normal day for you?
Well, wake up, get ready for the day, do school, then chores.
Go on to practice at about 3:30.
We intermingle with other teams, we talk to them. I'm home, rest.
But here's the catch. These athletes don't go to school. Their school is right in their own home. These athletes are a part of the Cumberland Christian Home Educators in Somerset, meaning they're homeschooled, and they compete with other kids just like them across the state in an athletic league, the Kentucky Christian School Athletic Association. CCHE's athletic program is also relatively new.
My oldest children wanted to play sports, and somebody needed to volunteer.
Harry Hubler is the founder of CCHE's athletic program and is their current athletic director. They have 3 sports for the more than 45 kids in their program: men's basketball, women's volleyball, and baseball. But these kids have had to work to just get athletic facilities.
And they have learned to fight for what they've wanted. I've never seen a program, you know, that needs a gym floor, so they're all tearing up a gym floor hand by hand because we need a building. They want to play so bad, they're willing to get out there and work.
And their coaches have put in the same amount of time into the kids' skill set.
They've taught them, again, you know, perseverance. They've taught them endurance, and there's just so much more than just playing a sport. Yes, they're teaching them skills for their sport, but just how to be good people. There have been years where things have gotten crazy and you're like, I can't do this no more. You know, and then you walk in and you see the faces of those girls and, you know, you can't leave.
I think of them as my family, especially my coaches and my teammates. They're sisters and parents to me.
The one thing these athletes want you to know is that the stereotype does not apply.
I wish people would know that homeschoolers aren't not social, and we get out of the house and we can play sports. I feel like we deserve to be recognized as much as the public schools do, because we have just as much talent as they do in our teams.
We can ball. We can be up there with the bigger boys, I guess you can say.
In Somerset, Karli Bell, WYMT Mountain Sports.